Season 1 of Vikings Valhalla begins with King Ethelred II, the ruler of England, ordering the deaths of all Danish settlers in his country. The Danish king Canute calls for every Viking warrior to attend a meeting in Kattegat, with the intent to form an army to exact revenge. Vikings arriving in Kattegat include Harald Sigurdsson, mourning the death of his brother Sten in the massacre, Harald's older brother Olaf Haraldsson, a devout Christian, and Gunnar Magnusson, a friend and loyal follower of Olaf. Also arriving in Kattegat are siblings Leif and Freydís, and their fellow Greenlander Vikings who are all pagans, putting them at odds with the largely Christian Danes. The Greenlanders are unaware of King Ethelred's massacre and had instead come for Freydís to take her own revenge on a Viking who had assaulted her years prior. That Viking turns out to be Gunnar, whom Freydís kills in Kattegat's Great Hall. Kattegat's ruler Jarl Haakon spares Freydís' life in exchange for Leif and the other Greenlander Vikings joining Harald and the Danes in their quest for vengeance against King Ethelred and the Saxons. As the Vikings arrive in England, King Ethelred's health deteriorates, resulting in his death. Ethelred's son Edmund is crowned the new king of England, and he forms an alliance with Eiríksdóttir, the Ealdorman of Mercia, to fight off the Viking invaders. With his mother Emma and chief counselor Godwin by his side, King Edmund prepares London for the Viking assault. When the Vikings arrive, Edmund ignores the counsel of his closest advisors and leads the Saxons directly into a Viking trap. Canute leads the Vikings in a bloody battle against Edmund's army, eventually defeating the Saxons and capturing London. During the chaos, Edric accepts defeat and abandons Edmund. Following their victory, the Vikings take all of the English nobles captive. Canute spares Edmund's life, but executes Edric for being an oathbreaker. Canute then names himself the first Norse king of England, taking Godwin as his counselor and Emma as his new wife. When King Canute is forced to leave London to fight off an army of Vins in Denmark, his father, King Sweyn Forkbeard, arrives to rule in his place. As Edmund attempts to use Canute's absence to form a rebellion to take back London, Godwin betrays his former king, killing him and officially siding with the Vikings. Meanwhile, Leif mourns all of his fellow Greenlander Vikings that died in battle. The only other Greenlander survivor is his lover Liv. Distraught over the many losses, Leif begins to struggle with his pagan beliefs and contemplates the merits of a one true Christian god. Leif then returns to Kattegat with Harald, finally reuniting with his sister Freydís. While Leif was gone, Freydís and Haakon were visited by the seer, who prophesied Freydís' future importance, and so Freydís needed to prepare to fulfill her destiny. Following extensive training from Haakon's shield maidens, Freydís defeats them all to become a shield maiden herself. Freydís also develops a romance with Harald, who has formed a tight friendship with Leif. Meanwhile, Olaf's devout Christian beliefs lead him on a path to eradicate the pagans. He joins forces with fellow religious fanatic Jarl, joining their armies and setting their sights on capturing Kattegat and forcing all of Norway under a Christian ruler. Olaf also forms an alliance with King Canute's spurned Mercian wife, Queen Elfgifu. As Olaf's army prepares to attack Kattegat, Harald joins his brother's side. Secretly, Harald is a double agent, relaying Olaf's plans back to Leif so that he can prepare Kattegat for the assault. The Battle of Kattegat is an all-out war with many casualties on both sides. Jarl Haakon is killed by a volley of arrows, Freydís kills and beheads the villainous Care, and Olaf mortally wounds Liv, who tragically dies in Leif's arms. Vowing to see his lover again in Valhalla, Leif reaffirms his pagan beliefs and continues on with his fight. Eventually, Olaf's army defeats Kattegat's forces and Olaf crowns himself the new king of Norway. Harald and Freydís flee the city just as Forkbeard arrives with Canute's fleet. The villainous Olaf's reign as king is cut short and he is forced to flee. As Forkbeard reclaims Kattegat for Canute, a grieving Leif brutally murders the followers of Care who remained in the city, fully giving in to the Viking warrior within. In Season 2 of Vikings Valhalla, Sweyn Forkbeard installs his grandson Sven as the new king of Norway. As Forkbeard's forces capture Olaf and his army, Olaf strikes a deal to spare his life, offering himself as the young Sven's advisor and protector. As Forkbeard leaves Kattegat, he brings along Olaf's son Magnus as his prisoner, to ensure Olaf's loyalty. Elsewhere, Harald and Freydís realize that despite their love for each other, their destinies are seemingly unaligned, with both firm in their differing Christian and pagan beliefs. This division leads to to them breaking up, though secretly Freydís is pregnant with Harald's child. Harald believes he is destined to fulfill his family's claim for the Danish throne, and travels with Leif to seek the aid of his uncle Jaroslav for aid. Jaroslav introduces Harald and Leif to Lord Vidimir, who hires the pair to transport his family and their valuable cargo to Constantinople. Harald and Leif assemble a Viking crew to make the treacherous journey, after which Harald will have secured the funds for his own army. In England, King Canute is still away at war, leaving his new wife Queen Emma to rule in his place. When an assassin tries to murder Emma, she suspects the scheming Godwin as being responsible, as he has always had ambitions for the crown. Godwin denies his accusation, but Emma remains suspicious. She tortures and accidentally kills Godwin's lover Elfwin for information. Emma also discovers Godwin's connection and payment to a mysterious man known as the Bear days before the assassination attempt. Emma finds the Bear dead, but carrying in his possession Godwin's father's ring. Canute finally returns to London and takes Godwin's side, and even supports the man by betrothing him to Canute's own royal niece Gytha. Despite her husband not supporting her, Emma refuses to let go of her suspicion of Godwin, and uses his father's ring as a threat of her unending resolve to uncover the truth. Meanwhile, Freydís arrives in the legendary Viking stronghold known as Jomsburg, ruled by Lord Haukur and Lady Gutrid. Freydís is given a holy position amongst the community, but she becomes disillusioned by Haukur and Gutrid's treatment of those they deem less worthy, like forcing refugees into slave labor. As Freydís tries to enact change in Jomsburg and create equality for its inhabitants, she draws the ire of Haukur, who slaughters the refugees and imprisons Freydís and her Jomsviking friend, Gudrid's son Jorander. While imprisoned, Freydís gives birth to a son, which she names Harald, but Haukur steals the baby to claim as his own. Jorander then betrays his lord and mother and helps Freydís escape. Freydís rallies the Jomsvikings to overthrow and kill Lord Haukur, and is then able to unite the pagans and refugees as one people, turning Jomsborg into the Viking safe haven it was intended to be. As Olaf helps train Sven to be a fit ruler, he sets his sights on taking over Jomsborg and claiming it under the banner of Christ. Freydís and her Jomsvikings defeat Olaf's army, though Jorander dies in the conflict, while Freydís kills Olaf herself. Wanting peace between the Christian and pagan Vikings, Freydís safely delivers Sven to his mother Elfgifu in Kattegat. Elsewhere, Harald, Leif, and their new companions face many difficult obstacles and setbacks as they make the extremely perilous journey to Constantinople. Along the way, Harald falls in love with Vidimir's daughter Elena, while Leif falls in love with a terminally ill woman named Miriam, who before her death teaches him how to read and write and about the vast wonders of the world. As the season comes to a close, Harald, Leif, and the surviving members of their party finally reach Constantinople, where Harald is shocked to discover that the valuable cargo they were transporting is actually Elena, who is betrothed to the land's emperor Romanos.